Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Today we're going to follow the path walked by a practitioner long, long ago. About 1400 years ago, in the 7th century, in Silla, an ancient kingdom of what is now Korea, there lived a monk named Jajang. He was born into one of Silla's highest noble families, already destined for a life of guaranteed success. But in his youth, he lost his parents, one after the other, and felt to the bone how fleeting life truly is. He left behind every worldly position and comfort and went deep into the mountains. There, he began a meditation practice, so severe it tested the very limits of what a human being could endure. He surrounded the small room where he stayed with sharp thorn bushes. His resolve was so complete that the slightest movement would pierce his skin. When drowsiness came for him, he tied his hair to the rafters and kept pressing on. This was the practice he pursued at the risk of his own life. It was called the contemplation of bones. It is a practice of watching, with the mind's eye, how this body we cling to, as though it were eternal changes once the breath stops. For a moment, follow that same gaze. The skin slowly loses its light. The flesh returns, piece by piece, to the earth, until only white bone remains, and finally scatters like dust. Watch this whole process quietly, in your mind. This is not a frightening imagining. It is simply a practice of seeing things as they are. Through this insight, Jajang came to understand clearly. This follows the same principle as the meditation on impurity, practiced today in the Theravada Buddhist traditions of Southeast Asia, such as Myanmar, to tame greed and anxiety. That youth, beauty, even this body itself, are never permanent. That nothing is ever truly ours to possess. This realization led him to complete freedom of mind. Take one deep breath in and slowly let it out. Having found freedom of mind, Jajang set out in the year 636 to study further, traveling to Tang, China, what is now China. At Mount Wutai, he gained profound spiritual insight and received sacred relics of the Buddha along with scriptures. His character moved even the Tang emperor, and he came to be revered as a great master who guided thousands. Around that time, his homeland, Silla, was facing a great crisis. Fierce invasions by neighboring states had cost the kingdom territory, severed its diplomatic ties, and pushed it to the brink of collapse. Queen Seon earnestly asked Jajang to return home, seeking the wisdom to save the nation. In the year 643, Jajang returned to his homeland. He became the kingdom's foremost spiritual leader and offered remarkable insight. He built the great 9-story wooden pagoda of Hwangyongsa, 80 meters tall, roughly the height of a 30-story apartment building today. This pagoda united the hearts of a people trembling in fear of invasion. It also gave the people of Silla a sense of pride that they too were noble beings, carrying peace and wisdom within them. He founded Tongdosa Temple to enshrine relics of the Buddha, establishing a spiritual center of peace. Today, Tongdosa is designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site and remains the living heart of Korean Buddhism. Those hours spent gazing upon his own bones, surrounded by thorns, those hours allowed him to fully let go of all greed, all fear, and even the attachment to a self. Because he had emptied himself of ego, paradoxically, even amid national chaos, he was able to save his country and his people with unwavering wisdom. Now, take a moment to ask yourself, what am I so attached to right now that it keeps me unsettled? As the saying goes, the world lies within us, and only when we step back and observe the greed and fear within ourselves does true peace and strength finally arrive. Breathe in deeply and slowly, fully breathe out. May the wisdom of letting go, passed down by Jajang 1400 years ago, find a quiet resonance in your tired day today. Whenever you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes.